So this is the conclusion for the SITREP of day 558 and 559. The Ukrainian forces are concentrating their effort over in the Orikhiv sector. We've continued fighting towards Novoprokopivka, Robotine, south of Robotine, and Verbove. There is some conflicting claims, with Ryba reported some kind of a defense of attack that caused the Ukrainians to not able to fully control the southern part of Robotine. However, we also have conflicting information, because the pro-Ukrainian Twitter is buzzing with claims that the Ukrainian forces has captured this stronghold over here. This is a very, very big stronghold, and this stronghold is needed for the Ukrainian forces to actually continue their attack from Robotine towards Novoprokopivka. So, however, despite all the claims, we actually do not have a clear, videos or photos or whatever to show that they indeed have captured this position. I have seen comments talking about this, but honestly, there is really no clear indication that is the case. And so I do urge people to to hold back a bit and wait for more confirmation. And Ryba's mapping also is a bit weird. They show that the Russian forces have the gray zone all the way up to this position. So I'm not sure how they come to this, but we shall see how this goes. And the Ukrainian forces continue to push through. There is claims that they have taken some parts of this trench line around here, or there could be actually tiger thieves. And there is some possible claims. I believe I saw one geolocation, but I did not map it. I saw it on Twitter that there is some destroyed, or some videos of Ukrainians getting attacked around this area here in the western part of Verbove. So situation is still very vague around this area here, and there is geolocation of Ukrainian forces getting evacuated at this position. So that also shows that the Russians still have very strong position around this area here, that the Ukrainian forces cannot break through just yet. So that's all from this area here. There is also Ukrainians launching a massive offensive on the eastern part of the Velika Novosilka sector. The Ukrainian forces attacking from Zolota Neva, Prashestivka towards Novomayoske and Novodonetsk. And so this attack have not worked out. But we do have drone footage of some destroyed Ukrainian tanks reported by Julian Ropike. I don't know how to pronounce his name. And so the destroyed vehicle is here. And this does shows that this is actually where the front line is. And this actually shows that the Russians are actually having a much advanced position that was previously claimed, because we do have claims previously that the Ukrainians have got very close to Kermanshah, and this seems to be not accurate. And in fact, Surya maps even show that the Russians have some push in the eastern part of Uruzhaine. Ukrainians still tried to push at Uruzhaine here, but did not work out. So this is a very, very awkward situation, I would say, around this area here. The Russians are shelling Voleda, so not sure if the feeling I get is that the Ukrainians have gathered some massive force around this area here, and they are really trying to try again around this area here to make this massive break and to attack. They did try Mykolaiv, then after they tried Shevchenko, and then they tried this area here, but it seems like nothing works. And I think this is actually a very bad idea, because if they have all these forces, they should have deployed them all the way into the Orikhiv sector and reinforce the attack at Verbove and Robotine. They should send in the reinforcement into this area here and launch bigger attacks, and then to create a front line that they can actually hold better. Now, this problem now is that the salient is like this. This salient is very, very dangerous, because if the Russians are able to send huge force around this area and then close up around Novodanilivka and Malatomashka, the entire force will be encircled. So if you look at this area here, the Russians have very strong positions around Novoporovka and around Kopani as well. These are all very strong positions. If the Russian forces see an opportunity that the Ukrainians seems to be overly weak in terms of securing the front line. So because you have to understand that the fighting is not just in the front. There is Ukrainian troops that is holding sentries and defensive positions all along the entire front line. And if there is any situation where they realize there's a weak spot, the Russians can actually make an offensive and push towards Novodanilivka, and from the other side, they actually push towards Malatomashka. And if they do this, the entire Ukrainian forces in the south will be stranded. This entire force here will be stranded in the encirclement. And this is going to be disastrous for the Ukrainians if they are unable to, push out to secure the flanks. They need to secure this flank in this way. And this size here, this is just not enough. This is very, very, very dangerous. So, and another thing about, I think for the pro-Ukrainians, you need to know is that every time the front line gets stretched, so this front line is now this long. It's actually different from when the front line is actually just like this. If you look at the distance, if the front line is just like this is like a 15 kilometers, 16 kilometers front line. But now the front line is actually much, much, much more longer. So let me point out, it's double the length. It's like 33 kilometers now. And you need troops to be guarding every part of the front line. There needs to be troops gathering all around the front line to hold the front line. Because if you do not hold the front line, then the Russian forces can just break through at any point, and that would collapse the entire operation. And this doubling of the front line due to this bulge here, this salient here, is going to be needed to be held. So even if the Ukrainians say that, oh, like we do know that the Ukrainians do not have all the leopards getting destroyed, but they cannot have all of them destroyed because you need some of these tanks for defensive operation. So which is also why we are seeing lesser of the tanks, the leopard tanks getting used in the offensive, because they need them to be positioned, in the various places to help out with the defenses. So they need to be positioned in the different locations. So this is the main thing that I want to highlight, because it's not just about we have 100 tanks, so we're going to push all 100 tanks in this direction. It doesn't work that way, because you need some to be here, to help to provide fire support for your frontline troops that is defending this various position. Some of them, they may be gathered around Novodanilivka or maybe at Malatomashka, and they'll have to be sent on raiding or defensive operation. If the Russians try to do an offensive, they need to be deployed as a reserve armored force. So it's not just every tank is used for offensive. By right, there's earmarked for that, but I think the Ukrainians also kept losing troops over the course of the operation, and this actually means that they need to bring back some of them. And yeah, so that's the situation right now for the Ukrainians. Kupiansk offensive has totally died. There is totally no offensive at all. No reports of fighting around the entire Kupiansk front. And the Russians are concentrating on Novoyehorivka. So the Russian forces are continuing to push in the north and the south flank of Novoyehorivka. I'm not sure about the middle because they didn't mention much, but it seems like most of the fighting is in the northern side of this Novoyehorivka region. The fight for the high ground around this area here, I will do a separate report to report more about this attack around here. Otherwise, the Ukrainians are concentrating their effort in the Bakhmut front, in the southern part. And I think the most significant was two different things. One is the reported fighting towards the south of Bakhmut, with the Ukrainian forces reportedly attacking towards Opitny direction. However, this was reported only on the 4th. It was not mentioned again, so I'm not sure what to think about it. Probably get abandoned. The other one that is significant is that the Ukrainians seems to be went all the way to this railway line. The Russian forces are holding their positions around this railway line, and this actually protects Andriivka because it provides some kind of a cover for the Russians to continue to reinforce Andriivka, which the Ukrainians failed to break through, and they are now trying to go from the flanks. And this is currently what's happening. They managed to reach the railway line, but seems like it's still very hard fight over in the Adriatica region. So anyway, otherwise, there is some cross-border fighting. The Ukrainians raided, and then there is still Ukrainian forces over at Antonovsky Bridge. There's still forces over here at Pristepny, or on the southern flank, southern shores of the Dnipro River. So basically, this is the summary. For those that are wondering where's the SITREP is now behind paywall. I have decided to put it back because of algorithm issues, and if you want to watch the technical SITREP, you can become a YouTube member. By becoming the YouTube member, you'll be able to see this SITREP. So anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next update.